Hello, everybody. It's Tisha, and you are tuning into Tisha Talks live at 4:45. I do this every single week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right at 4:45, and I bring in a topic of the day, a guest that I really wanted to interview, and I just share some words of wisdom. So thanks so much for tuning in. This is being broadcast to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you are on with me today, I'd love for you to give me a shout out in the comment box, say hello, say where you're from, ask a question, and let's get the show started. So today, if you see the topic of the day scrolling across the bottom, it says it's all about and I've left it intentionally blank, and I want to share with you why. So I don't know if you guys remember way back when. Hey, Steve. How you doing? Steve Cabrera joining me off LinkedIn. Thanks so much for tuning in. So if you remember that song from Puff Daddy way back when, so I'm dating myself. This goes back to, I believe, in the 90s, where he talks about it's all about the Benjamins. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. And today I'm going to say, actually, it's actually not all about the Benjamins. It's never been all about the Benjamins. It's about the experience. It's always going to be about the experience that you provide to others that keeps those customers, those clients coming back. It's how word of mouth gets started. But I know a lot of people are like, well, how do you create an amazing customer experience that keeps people coming back to you and keeps that word of mouth pipeline filled? So today we're going to be talking about that topic. And if you have questions or if you want to chime in or share some experiences that you've had, feel free. The chat line is open. I am checking that in the live and also on the replay. So I want to share with you a couple of customer experience stories that are just on my mind right now. So some of you know, back in January, on January 11th, in fact, I started real estate school. And it was 90 hours of Zoom classes, 5 hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on Zoom with breaks here and there. And you kind of look at that and you're like, oh my gosh, that just seems like such a crazy nightmare. But I will say this, that the instructor that I had, shout out to Marty, was just incredible. He made it interesting. It wasn't monotone. He shared a lot of stories that helped people remember the information that he was sharing, because there's a ton. There was like books like this big that you're studying for that real estate exam. So that was an experience that he gave to his students. He was funny. He liked storytelling. Like I said, he was always available to help these students. And that's what made a really great customer experience. He definitely had to carry the whole 5 hours every single time. And this is a guy that did this 10 hours a day. Hey, Nat Handler, good to see you on LinkedIn. So today we're talking about the experiences, and that was one experience that I just had. And shout out to Marty. I actually passed my exam yesterday. I know I shared this with Nat already. Passed my school exam yesterday, and I'm taking the big final exam, the state exam, tomorrow. So we talk about customer experiences, but what happens if you have a bad customer experience? Can you be resurrected? Can you come back from that? And I like to say you absolutely can. Even if a customer has a really bad experience with your company, that doesn't mean that they hate you forever. They're going to tell all their friends if you can solve their problem. So case in point, my family and I are heading to Cancun soon, and we booked all of our travel plans with this one airline, and they just automatically changed all of our seats. Like we were like, okay, the kids and I are going to sit together. You're going to sit here, hubby. Like we're going to have 2 seats here and 2 seats here. And then lo and behold, as they were switching all their times and so on, they changed all of our seat arrangements. So now the kids are sitting by themselves. I'm sitting by myself. My husband's sitting by himself. And it's just not a good situation. We're traveling for several hours on a plane, and I want to be with my kid. I do. I want to be with them. We booked the seats initially for the 2 of us to sit together and 2 of us to sit together as well. And so you just kind of get into this, are you kidding me? Did you really have to do that? Okay, all right. Getting a little bit upset, but there is a way to fix this. I immediately jump on the call with this airlines, and my son was in the car with me, and I had it going through my Bluetooth, and he was actually listening to the conversation. And the woman was so sweet. She was so nice. And she was like, you know what? I understand what you're going through. Let me figure a couple things out. Give me a second. And she ended up putting this all together. And then we continue the conversation, just talking about whatever, the weather, about COVID, about travel arrangements, about where we want to travel and all this stuff. And it was a really great experience that at the end of the call, My son was like, "Did you know her? It seems like you knew her." And I was like, "Actually, I don't know her from Eve." But you have the ability to really turn a customer experience around, especially if they're in a place where they want to go tell the whole world that they don't like your company and they want to get everybody against you. So, how can you create the best customer experience for your clients? This airlines could have totally went the wrong way. She could have told me, let's say, let's change up the scenario. So let's say I call this airlines and she's like, "Sorry, no can do. It is what it is. Your kids will have to sit separate. You'll have to sit separate. You're getting there. You're on the same plane." Like, could you imagine if she said that to me? I would have been so ticked off that I would have told the whole world and probably written a blog about it, that I will never be on that airline again. But instead, she was like, "No worries. I've got this. I understand what you're going through. Let me fix this and we'll get you on your way, having a safe trip and traveling." Okay. And so that's the difference between the experience. So I saw this great article, and I'll put the link in the comments on SmartWorks, about how to deliver the best customer experience. And the first thing is design the experience. If you're part of a big company, that's you all working together to design the experience, an experience that you would want to go through as well. If you are a solopreneur, like a lot of us are solopreneurs, you are the experience. Just like I always say, you are the brand, you are the experience. So make sure that it's a good experience that people really want to have with you. All right. The other thing, we talked about this just in my story, but showing empathy. If you have a client or a customer that's kind of having a rough day, or maybe something in your system was broken or whatnot, you have the ability to fix that and to change that and to keep them a customer of yours, unless you don't value that customer. So make sure that you are hanging on to those customers and you're trying to put yourself in their shoes. How did they feel when that happened? And how are you the solution? How will you provide the solution? Be friendly. Hey, that's a no-brainer. Always be friendly. Always be saying please and thank you and what can I do for you? Always provide value. I love that one. You should always be doing that. Don't settle for things that you've already always done. Instead, asking for customer feedback and incorporating that in is a big plus. Saying, "What did you think about this?" I know when I'm working with clients, I'm always like, "Tell me about your experience," because it only makes me better. Okay, I don't want to pretend that my experience is the best experience out there. So if you can tell me what I'm doing wrong or how I can improve upon the experience, that only makes the experience better for the next person too, as I keep going with it. Be consistent, always show up. Like I said, always show up, and then use technology to enhance, but not to create the design, create the experience. I love that one too. I know we get into this topic of, should I automate every part of my business? And I think that there are things that you should automate just for efficiency. But if everything is automated, then you're really missing that customer interaction that you have with that client. Appreciate your customers. And when you do that, that's when those customers come back. That's when that word of mouth pipeline starts filling up. It's when you get that customer loyalty as well. So Nat, looks like you have a comment. Nat Handler saying, "It's all about showing a genuine effort of going a step further in order to resolve or to solve the customer's problem. Delivering exceptional customer service experiences ensures you high customer loyalty and customer retention." Absolutely, Nat. That's exactly what I was saying. Is it's really all about the experience. And right now, because there's so much in terms of competition of this company does this and this company does this and this company, it's not really boiled down to the pricing so much, but it's really about the experience. If I had to pay higher prices, but I got a better experience, I would go to the better experience. If you give me mediocre experience and every time I leave going, I don't know why I keep coming back, I'm going to go somewhere else. Exactly. Bruce Carnahan, thanks so much for joining me. As you can see, I'm wearing the bluish purple. He said balance is key. Yes, absolutely, with your clients too. So some great tips in that SmartWorks article about the experience and what the experience is that you are providing to your customers and how to keep them as customers and how to keep them coming back. I shared the story just a little bit earlier about Marty and how he teaches at the real estate Forum School, the Forum Real Estate School. I'm like, let me get that. This Forum Real Estate School here in Chandler, and he does an online program because of COVID. He does an online program and it's 5 hours on Zoom, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then he goes back and teaches it from 6 to 10 p.m. or 6 to 10:30 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, talk about a lot of Zoom fatigue, a lot of Zoom fatigue. And that class could have been super boring, super just like, get me through this. This is going to be hell on wheels. But he made the experience so much better. In fact, today I texted him and I said, I passed the exam. I'm going to take the state test tomorrow. And he was like, congratulations. I'm rooting for you. You know, that's the experience that I'm going to take from having that class with him, that I've actually referred even more people to the class, which, remember what I talked about earlier? It's not all about the Benjamins. It's about the experience that then leads to the Benjamins. Okay, so Puff Daddy, I think you got it wrong. All right, let's see. Bruce, you had a comment here. Tisha Marie Pelletier, make sure people feel great about how you make them feel in any and all transactions. Yes, yes, any and all transactions. It doesn't matter. I mean, as I was sharing earlier, Bruce, if you have a bad experience with a company, that company has every right to fix it and change it and keep you happy. If they can't, then you're not of value to them, and that's okay. You're like, okay, fine. So yeah, there's plenty of other companies that do that. But I'm pretty sure that trying to retain a customer is far better than trying to obtain the customer. So think about that too, that client retention. And so I love talking about this topic on customer service experiences, because sometimes we just miss the boat, and it really does trickle down to how, if you're in a big company, how are you having those values and those missions show up, not just with you, you know, at the top, but how does it trickle down to even your employees too, so they get the memo that this is the way we treat the customer, this is the way the experience should go. So it's a lot of that training. Nat has a comment here. Clients don't just buy a product or service. They perceive the entire process as an experience or memory they recall when doing business with the company again. Very good. I love that. Even Bruce is agreeing with that. Nat Handler, so agree with that. Yes, I agree with that, Nat. It's about the experience. I know when I was hosting an event called Social Connect, my whole thought on that was creating a whole experience that people could get behind. Even if they just went to bits and pieces of the event, it was the experience that I think they left going, oh my gosh, that was a great event. That was a great event. I'm going to tell more people about it. And then they're going to go to this event. So it is so much about the experience that you're delivering to your customer through and through and through every touch point. It's so important as a solopreneur, if you are a solopreneur, that you create that experience for your customers so that they do keep coming back. They do become lifelong customers of yours, or they start referring people to you, and that pipeline gets filled. So great stuff today. I want to say thanks so much for tuning in live to this and sharing some comments. Nat and Bruce, of course, you guys are big, loyal fans. Nidal, I just want to give him a big shout out. He's usually on here too, talking about chicken recipes with me, and give him a big shout out as it was his birthday yesterday. And then today, guys, I'm doing a double live feature day. So today I went on live at Tisha Talks at 4:45, but catch me again at 6 p.m. I'll actually be on Annie Leaves Living with Annie-tude podcast. You can catch it on LinkedIn on her profile, Annie Leave, or she believes she also has a YouTube channel as well. So I'm going to post the link to this article that I was sharing with the 8 tips on creating that best customer experience. Love for you to check it out too. It gave me some great insight for this live stream. And then if you guys have any questions on, hey, Tisha, you should talk about this, and make sure you let me know, because I'd love to keep filling that pipeline of things that are valuable to you as we continue on this journey together. All right, I'll see you guys back on Thursday. Just a note, Thursday will be my very last Tisha Talks Live. I'm going to be getting off the grid for a few weeks just to unplug. After passing real estate school, my mind just needs a little bit of a break. So taking off for spring break, and then I'll catch you back at the end of March. So, all right, we'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for tuning in or catching the replay. Bye-bye.